Alec invests a lump sum of 5,000. So this person is making a single investment in a savings account for exactly 2 years. Ne? The investment earns an interest of 10% per annum compounded quarterly. Sharp. Ne? And then 6.1. We're requested to write what is the quarterly interest rate of Alex investment, which was a little bit tricky for people. I will show you some of the things that they wrote. So it was 6.1.1. So we have they want to know what is going to be the quarterly interest rate. No. There is agree from understand what there is the interest. There is the interest rate, and then when they wanted the quarterly interest rate. So what is going to be the quarterly interest rate? We'll tell them the rate is going to be equaling to 10%. We divide it by what? By 4. So if we do that, because I think it was Muhao, I'll show Muhao. Muhao wrote she 0.025. She did. Okay, so we have 10 and because you can write the interest as a percentage. You can also write it as a decimal.
Yes.
And then for you to understand it, as the other thing I think that's something that we took for granted when we're teaching this thing. I is an interest as a decimal. R is an interest as a percentage. Those are two different things. So how do we define I? We define I this way. We say I is going to be equaling to R all over 100. It's just which every time when I was teaching you, I would say which you divide the interest by 100, but I didn't explain why. So if your answer is in I, it is the interest rate as a decimal. If your answer is in R like this, I mean it is your interest as a percentage. Yes, that's how we define it in grade 10. So if you divide this, you get 2.5.
0.025.
No. I mean this one. So for this one, you get 2.5. So when you're supposed to tell them what this thing is going to be 2.5%. That is why I wrote R. I didn't say it's R. But it's something that is worth noting to say if you write R is the interest as a percentage. Now let's say I didn't want to write it as a percentage, I wanted to write it as a decimal. This thing is going to be 0.025. But it's not 0.025% like Muhao did. It's 0.025.
Yes.
It is the interest as a what? As a percentage. Muhao, you see what I'm talking about there? Kazi.
Hey, you left me.
I left you.
Yes, I am behind.
Behind where?
I'm gonna saying R. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'm saying wow, this is something that we always take for granted as teachers, and then it always shows us flames when they give us such questions, because we assume every time when we speak about the interest, you should remember this is how we do the interest on purpose. We'll say, let's say they said 10% per annum compounded quarterly. We'll write it this way. We say I is going to be equal to 0.01 divided by 4. That's how we speak about it. What have we skipped here? We've skipped something which is very important in grade 10. In grade 10, they speak about R, they speak about I, and then they make sure you understand as a learner, these are two different things. I and R. What is R? R is defined as, if we want a formula for R, it is I all over 100. That's the definition of R.
No.
Meaning?
No.
Oh.
I multiplied by 100.
Oh, sorry about that. What is R? We're saying, I is the one which is R all over 100. Yeah. So it means if we want to talk about R is going to be equal to 100 multiplied by what? By I. I agree with cross multiply here. So if you give your answer as a percentage, it's the rate. It is R. If you give your answer as a decimal, it is I. It is still the interest rate, it's just which the other one is given as a percentage, the other one is given as a what? As a decimal. And then remember, you should always remember, these two things are exactly the same. But what I'm not allowed to do, I'm saying like how I'm not allowed to put percent here. Because percent means over 100. The one this thing here is 2.5 over 100. This thing here and over 100 are exactly the same. Does that make sense? So it's either I write this or I write over 100. And then this is over 100. The one once I've written it, this thing here, I'm saying with it's 0.025. This means which is 2.5 all over 100.
Yes.
Per over cent 100. Cent means 100. So if I say percent, I mean over 100.
So it's 10 cent, it's 100.
Yes.
Oh.
That's cent is associated with 100. That's what you should know. Okay, so here I'm just making it a point which Lena should understand, which if we divide it by 4, we can get 2.5% accepted. This is R. Not to say which if whenever you wrote it as I will penalize you, but agree you already have this thing here. So it means what you also telling me this is over 100. But let's do the right thing. So what is the right thing? The right thing is to say I. If I say I, this is going to be 0.025. Not 0.025%. It's 0.025. That's all.
Yes, sir.
Mohau is fine now. Mohau?
Yes, sir, it's fine.
So 10. Yeah, so we
Miss-
should know which we can have the quarterly payment, and then we can also have the monthly payment, which will give us also an opportunity to say they could have said determine the effective interest rate, and from here, directly from here, we could have been asked, you know, which at least this time around they wanted to give us 1 month. They could have said, let's determine the effective interest rate. Agree? This thing is compounded quarterly. If it's compounded quarterly, we can get the effective interest rate of this thing. Now let's remind each other, how do you get the effective interest rate? We can do something like this, and let's call it something. Let's call it A, 6.1.1B. This one, let's call it B. So if we wanted the effective interest rate, actually we'll talk about 1 plus. Yeah?
I effective.
I effective.
Yes,
Yeah, it's not there on the question, guys. I know, I'm aware. Oh, the network is bad. Okay. This is going to be 1 plus I effective. It's going to be equal to 1 plus open bracket. I norm all over n to the power of n. And then here we speak of something like this. We say we want effective interest rate. And then they say we should be careful then with what is this thing here that we are looking for. And then I spoke about this, not to say to avoid confusion. Basically, we know what we are looking for here. It's R, effective. We are not looking for I effective, because if you are looking for I effective, answer you need to leave it as a decimal. Because I is the rate as a what, as a decimal. But to avoid confusion, man, because we're almost at the end. Let's stick to the to what we already know. Because basically, also you're supposed to say this is going to be. You're supposed to say this is R if all over 100, and then you'll see it works best if we do it that way. Because I effective can be given as this is I effective. I effective is going to be given by R effective all over 100. So we'll come and substitute here and say here we have R effect all over 100. And then this is going to be equaling to 1 plus I norm is 0.10 divided by 4 to the power of 4 minus 1. But you always agree we eventually multiply by 100. But we couldn't even explain where does that 100 come from. So now we know exactly where does the R come from. It comes from the fact which I is given as R all over 100. So if we proceed with this thing here, maybe my grades this year they will be much better, because when I'm making it a point to which they should understand this part. I'm sure here you can simply multiply by 100.
Yes.
So that when you type this in your calculator, you are already set. So you have open bracket, you have 1 plus 0.10 divided by 4, close bracket, to the power of 4 minus 1, close bracket, multiply by 100. And then What did I go wrong?
Comma.
I went wrong somewhere. Where? Oh, one bracket is missing here.
Yes, 10,38.
I opened one parenthesis, and then even when you're programming, it has exactly the same thing. So you are effect. But I'm repeating, even if you wrote I here, they're not going to penalize you.
Yes.
So it's going to be 10,38%.
38%.
And it makes sense. I know the effect should be a little bit more, yeah. And then from there onwards, they say, let's do the question. Then the question says, calculate the amount in Alex's savings account at the end of 2 years. So because this money is not done consecutively on regular intervals, so we're going to use the formula that says A is going to be P 1 plus I to the power of N,
Yes.
compounded
Gotcha.
investment. Those are the words that I'm looking for. Compounded investment. So I'm going to have A, which is going to be 5,000. And then we have 1 plus 0,10 divided by 4.
Yes.
And then we have
of 8.
8 here. And how did we get the 8? We said N is going to be 2 multiplied by 4 now. So give us
6,092,
it's
014.
It's 6,000.
92.
92.
0. This is 0 before 92. 60, yeah, comma 14. Yes.
And then I want to hear they were supposed to give us 1 mark for N, 1 mark for I, and then 1 mark for the final answer.
Mr.
Yes.
We should calculate the effective interest rate.
No, you don't. If you want to use the effective interest rate, then you need to make sure that you don't divide by 4. You also don't multiply it, because effective, you need to understand, effective interest rate is an annual rate. So it's the amount that you're going to get at the end. So it's not compounded anymore. We give you once at the end. Remember, this one it's a year, but we're giving you a little bit piece by piece. Any questions there, guys, with the first one?